So students, now you see, yesterday I took your class and I taught you in general about English compulsory or compulsory English. I believe that all of you have purchased this textbook, which is titled as Horizon, published by Macmillan Education, and the publishers are the internationally acknowledged publisher. So students, now I would like to start straight away from the text, and that is lesson number 1, which is titled as I have 3 visions for India. I strongly believe that each one of you who has joined this class online knows about APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam is such a personality who is acclaimed, acknowledged, accepted, appreciated throughout the world. And the first lesson that we are going to learn, titled as I have 3 visions for India, is nothing but one of the presentations, one of the lectures, one of the speeches delivered by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The full name of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is Dr. Aul Fakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam. A stands for Aul, P stands for Fakir, J stands for Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam. He was born on 15th of October 1931 and he died on 27th of July 2015. He was born and raised in Rameshwaram, which is located in Tamil Nadu, India. He studied physics and aerospace engineering, and as an Indian aerospace scientist and a politician who served India as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. I think to talk about APJ Abdul Kalam, it will take a whole day because his life itself is a story of struggle. Not only in personal life, but also on the professional front. APJ Abdul Kalam belonged to a very small middle class family. His father, Jainulabdin, was a ferry wala having a small boat and carrying people from one end to the another end and having a trifle earning by the end of the day. The family always faced some or the other financial problems, but anyhow, they could find the way out and lived a successful life. If you see, APJ Abdul Kalam as a scientist who spent more than 4 decades as a scientist and a science administrator, mainly at DRDO, which is located in Hyderabad, Defense Research and Development Organization. He also worked for some time for ISRO, which stands for Indian Space Research Organization. He was intimately involved in India's civil space program also, and he was very much instrumental in the missile military development mission, which was undertaken under his guidance, and he did it very, very successfully. As you know that before the Indian manufactured and produced in India kind of missiles were introduced, we were totally depending on either Russia or Japan for electronic gadgets and other configurations which were required for missile technology and missile launch. But APJ Abdul Kalam, who initiated from his end, out of many difficulties, he could find his way, and in the very short period of time, he became the Missile Man of India. Throughout the country, throughout the world, whenever we talk about indigenous missile development in India, the entire credit goes to APJ Abdul Kalam only. And that's why he is known as the Missile Man of India for his work on the development of ballistic missile and launch vehicle technology, which was indigenous. Indigenous means made in India, manufactured in India, and used in India. So this kind of technology was introduced in the military affairs, missile technology, and launch vehicle technology in India for the first time. And the entire credit goes to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So he did not really stop himself just with the missile technology development in India. I hope you know, Mrs. Indira Gandhi took an initiative for the first nuclear test in India. And the second Pokhran test, which was again the nuclear test, it was conducted in India in 1998. I think that was the tenure of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And APJ Abdul Kalam played a pivotal organizational, technical, and political role in India's Pokhran 2 nuclear test, which was conducted in 1998. Actually, the first test was conducted, the original nuclear test was conducted by India in 1974. So if you see, APJ Abdul Kalam's contribution for the development of the country in the military point of view, technological point of view, missile point of view, launch vehicle point of view, and the nuclear technology also, it is quite a diverse kind of contribution that we people, that is Indian people and the entire world has noticed. Actually, that was the most difficult point of time for Indian technological development. Americans, Europeans, Russians, Japanese, they were working on different arenas of life. And they were, of course, quite successful in their efforts also. India as a country was going through a very different phase, I would say. As you know, till 15th of August 1947, we were the British colony. We were politically controlled and managed by Great Britain, the king or the queen of Great Britain. After getting independence, whatever efforts we could put in, depending on our own reliable, available resources, we did it. But even after 50 years, there were innumerable challenges in front of the country. Especially in the technological point of view, missile technology, launch vehicle technology, nuclear technology. APJ Abdul Kalam put in his own personal efforts and could really provide a very better, extraordinary platform for the Indian technocrats, and based on that, we could move on forward in the course of time. So there are so many things that we can talk about APJ Abdul Kalam as such. So he has proved to be an icon, a source of inspirational, a motivating or a motivational figure, not only to the Indians like you and me, but the people all around the world. If you see his contributions, several contributions are there as far as his writings is concerned. He was not only a technocrat, he was not only the missile man of India, he was not only the man behind the Pokhran II nuclear test. He is also a very great contributor as far as writings are concerned. More than 25 publications go to his credit. And I hope all of you know the autobiography that of APJ Abdul Kalam is known as, or it is titled as, Wings of Fire, an autobiography, which was published in 1999. This book is also available in Marathi. Those who are willing to read in Marathi, it is titled as Agni Pankh. But I would recommend, being an English teacher, you should go for the English version, which is titled as Wings of Fire, an autobiography, published in 1999. There are other books also which are going to his credit. And in the introduction, to name a few, I will just read out some of the titles which are going to the credit of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. India 2020, a vision for the new millennium. This was the first book that he published in 1998. It was followed by his autobiography, as I said just before, that is Wings of Fire, published in 1999. Ignited Minds, Unleashing the Power Within India, published in 2002. The Luminous Sparks, published in 2004. Mission India, 2005. Inspiring Thoughts, 2007. Then there are a few more contributions also. I will read out the names or the titles of the book. Indomitable Spirit, Envisioning an Empowered Nation, You Are Born to Blossom, Take My Journey Beyond 2011. Turning Point, A Journey Through Challenges, published in 2012. Target 3 Billion, published in 2011. My Journey, Transforming Dreams into Actions, published in 2014. A Manifesto for Change, a sequel to India 2020, published in 2014. Forge Your Future, Candid Fortnight Inspiring, published in 2014. Reignited Scientific Pathways to a Brighter Future, published in 2015. Transcendence, My Spiritual Experiences with Pramukh Swamiji, published in 2015. Advantage India, From Challenges to Opportunity, published in 2015. Actually, I did not include the entire list of publications by APJ Abdul Kalam. I just pronounced a few of them or a limited number of them. But one thing is all clear, that there are many contributions to his credit. So APJ Abdul Kalam was not only a technocrat, an engineer, a scientist, a nuclear technologist, but he proved to be an eminent author also, and that's why he could author a number of books in a very short period of time. By considering his publications, his scientific contribution, technological contribution, there are a number of awards given to him in the course of time. Kalam received 7 honorary degrees, 7 different degrees, offered and conferred by 40 universities scattered all over the world. And of course, Government of India also recognized his talent, and Government of India honored him with the Padma Bhushan in 1981. He also got Padma Vibhushan, the higher title than the Padma Bhushan, in 1990 for his work with Indian Space Research Organization and DRDO, and his role as a scientist and a scientific advisor to the Government of India. To see the climax, in 1997, Abdul Kalam received the highest civilian honor, that is Bharat Ratna, for his lifetime contribution to the field of scientific research scientific administration, missile technology, launching technology, nuclear technology, and the modernization of defense technology in India. In 2013, he was also the recipient of Von Braun Award from the National Space Society to recognize excellence in management and leadership of a space-related project. So, it is obvious that APJ Abdul Kalam has received a number of awards, not only from the government of India or the government associated units and the private organizations in India, but he also received so many awards from the international or the organizations from abroad. So, one very striking experience that he had, he was invited by Indian Institute of Management Shillong on 27th of July 2015. He was at the age of 83 that time. He was delivering a lecture in front of the IIM students in Shillong. But while delivering a lecture at IIT Shillong, APJ Abdul Kalam collapsed and died from an apparent cardiac arrest. So, I mean to say, he died on 27th of July 2015 at the age of 83. Thousands of people, including national level dignitaries, international dignitaries, attended the funeral ceremony, which was held at his hometown, that is Rameshwaram, where he was buried with full state honors. And that's how is the life and death of APJ Abdul Kalam. And this is a brief introduction from my end, that of a great personality who has inspired me a lot. Even I have also received so many motivational aspects from his life that I acquired, and such man passed away from this mortal world in 2015. So APJ Abdul Kalam has written so many books, but the lesson that we are going to learn, which is titled as Introduction to the kind of technological development in India, vision for India and all. But once he was invited by IIT Hyderabad, where he was supposed to deliver a lecture, and that lecture he delivered on 25th of May 2011, Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. And the lesson that we are going to learn, which is titled as I have 3 visions for India, is nothing but a speech delivered by APJ Abdul Kalam on the platform of IIT Hyderabad. This is one of the very inspirational speeches delivered by APJ Abdul Kalam. He had a prophetic and a visionary mission to build a strange developed India and wanted to see India as a developed country by 2020. But I think we need to wait for some more time. Right now we are living in 2020, and it will take some more time to see our country as a developed country. In this lesson, APJ Abdul Kalam has outlined his vision for India, and he addressed how to make our country as a developed country. So this particular lesson, titled as I Have Three Visions for India, mainly talks about three visions that he has given. Vision number 1, freedom. Vision number 2, India's development. And vision number 3, military and economic development. The entire speech or the entire lesson mainly talks about these 3 points. Once again, I repeat, freedom, India's development, and number 3, military and economic power, that we need to make our country more efficient by all means. So this is the general introduction to APJ Abdul Kalam and the lesson, which is titled as I Have Three Visions for India.